During the execution phase of a software development project, your team identifies a high impact risk associated with the integration of several complex software modules. This integration is critical to the project success, but is outside your team core competency. Having selected a risk transfer strategy, what should be your next step? Okay, so we have a situation at hand. We realize that our team cannot handle it. We want to transfer the risk, which means we want someone else to do this work. We want to outsource it. The question is not clearly showing. We can see the option, but looks like it is saying let's outsource it. Now, if I decide to outsource, what should I do next? Yeah, I definitely need to find the right statement of work, go to the vendor, and proceed with the whole procurement process. That seems to be my idea. Let's see what are the options we have. Option A, remove the work associated with these components from your project schedule. Okay, there is a possibility of some part of the work will get removed. Definitely there is a possibility, but still there will be another type of work which will be integration of it. Yes, good amount of work will get removed, but is that the thing which I should start with? Yeah, probably I need to find out who is going to do it and how are we going to take care of it before I start removing my task. Yeah, I need to know the next caretaker of the task before I remove the task. So I'm looking for some better option. There is a possibility I will replan my project schedule, but this is not the first thing I probably will do. Option B, review the project procurement strategy and prepare a statement of work for procurement. Definitely, I should do this. Yeah, I have a situation, I want to transfer the risk, I want to find the outsourcing partner. I need to create a statement of work for that particular outsourced vendor. Yeah, and maybe I need to find out the potential vendors, and in order to select the right vendor out of potential vendors, still I need a statement of work. So that's the thing I should do. Option B, in my understanding. So A or and B, I go with B because I need to find out the right vendor before I start replanning my project schedules activity. Option C, directly call a vendor to take this work into their scope. Now, the question is not clearly indicating that I have a selected vendor. Question is not clearly indicating that that vendor is doing some other work and I can just add this work to that particular vendor. So just jumping to that without even thinking of procurement strategy, contract type, the risk associated with that particular selecting a particular vendor, uh, acting, yeah, as you know, acknowledge, analyze, and act. Directly acting without planning doesn't make much sense. So option B is still win. Option D, review the project management plan, review the project risk management plan to understand action linked with the transfer of risk. It could be there, but the risk management plan usually talks about high level risk strategies. It may not directly tell that you do this when you take a particular strategic approach. So say, for example, I'm mitigating a risk. I just mitigate based on looking at the risk and its characteristics rather than I go for a risk management plan. Risk management plan can help me in identifying what kind of risk should be mitigated, what kind of risk can be accepted. That much I can get a detail. I may get a detail about when to transfer and when not to transfer. But what to do after transfer may not be the core focus area of risk management plan. Yeah. So for example, let's take another risk response. Maybe you want to replan your project schedule. Now, how to do a replanning of your project schedule is not necessarily defined in a risk management plan. It is defined in your scheduling process, not in the risk process. So though this is something which I created for confusing the participants, but looking at all the options available, option B makes best sense, because after understanding that I need to go for transfer, I need to find out my right vendor and I need to create a procurement statement of work so that we can get started with the outsourced partner. Yeah. Now this particular question maps to primarily two tasks in your exam content outline. It maps to assess and manage risk because it is helping you to understand what is the meaning of transfer. If you don't understand transfer means I need to find outsourcing partner, then this question may be very difficult to learn and you may end up selecting option D. You will say the question was talking about risk, and out of these the D is also talking about risk, let's go with it. Yeah, so we need to understand transfer means you are looking for the outsource or some other party. Yeah, so that's that point got checked. Assess and manage risk. The process domain task 11 also got tested because we were talking about plan and manage procurement here. It's overall coming up with the procurement strategies and procurement management plan and procurement statement of work. The topics, yes, it helps us in understanding better the risk responses. So plan risk responses or risk response strategies, that's the topic we learned. We also learned about procurement strategies and procurement management plan because we need to come up with a procurement statement of work which is guided or influenced by our procurement management plan alone. Yeah, so this is, I think, little tricky question, but overall we need to understand that I need to come up with a procurement statement of work, sometimes just called statement of work also, and that's why the option B is the good choice.